Word. Well, Rob, what you got for us this week, man?
I'm gonna talk about uh, a new thing going on right now in the world of physics about black holes. And what we've traditionally known about black holes is that they're like massive energy wells, right? And it usually happens when a star compresses on itself, and there's so much gravity that it warps space time so far down that not even light can escape, right?
Mm.
So there's a new theory going on that people are finding out where I want to say, let me see. This was Dr. Thibault Demore of Bureau sur Yvette, France, and Sergei Solidukin of Bremen, Germany, are finding out that not all black holes are just black holes, that black holes actually start as wormholes. And a wormhole, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically taking space time, right? We see space as kind of like this open plane, it's 3D, whatever, it folds it, and then the wormhole goes through and connects A to B, right? Point A to point B. Um, so what they're theorizing now is that not all black holes that we think are black holes, especially ones that aren't emitting what's called Hawking radiation, um, are actually they're actually wormholes, and they could actually lead to other universes.
Okay.
The other side of this is that there's physicists at the CERN laboratory in Switzerland, the large particle accelerator laboratory out there, and and they're not really joined with this other study, but basically, like, the idea is that if you can create a microscopic black hole up to a point before it gets the event horizon, there's a way to stop it. You can actually create a wormhole. Now, the funny thing is with wormholes, depending on how long they are, it might take billions of years to get through a wormhole. So, like, you'll age what, seconds, minutes, who's to say? But even the oldest wormholes in the universe might not be done spitting out what they already took in at the beginning of our universe, you know? So that time dilation becomes an issue. But with the smaller black holes that are actually wormholes, travel between the two can be within seconds, instantaneous, whatever. And so they're finding out that with wormholes, with a black hole, anything that comes out of it is Hawking radiation. So it's basically like the destruction of information, so to speak. So sending any information, a body, fucking supplies, whatever, it becomes pointless because it just comes out as Hawking radiation. But if it's kept as a wormhole, the information is left intact. So you can send communication, supplies, people, whatever, like any sci-fi show that we've seen with wormholes. But we actually have a way that we can create it now, and so they're discovering this at the CERN particle accelerator, that some of these studies, they're actually going to be creating black holes as like a side effect of these other studies. The interesting thing is right now these black holes are so small, when that they are theoretically created, they actually dissipate really quickly. Like, we're talking a tenth. What is it? It's 10 to the negative 27th power second. So that's like, you know what I mean? That's point 0.00027 zeros 27
Yeah.
seconds. That's fucking fast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the second part of this, since we're talking about other dimensions and universes and whatnot, is that the physicists at CERN believe that they can use these microscopic black holes to detect other dimensions. And by other dimensions, I don't mean parallel universes. I mean dimensions in our own reality. So, like, I wrote it down because it gets kind of crazy. So one dimension is a point, right? And the second dimension is a plane, right? Like a piece of paper or whatever. Even though piece of paper, when you fucking zoom in, it still has an edge. 3D is depth, so up, down, in, out, whatnot. 4D, like the fourth dimension, would be like what's the time, or like, yeah, it's measuring the time that an object or mass is positioned in space-time. So like where something is at a time, right? The fifth dimension is now we're able, well, really the fifth dimension and the sixth dimension are kind of tied together. Whereas now we start seeing possible parallel worlds, parallel universes, right? If you can master the fifth and the sixth dimension, you can time travel. The seventh dimension is both the fifth and the sixth, but now we have the beginning of things is always different. So the beginning of a world or a life or whatever, we see those possibilities. The eighth dimension is the seventh dimension, but now all the timelines from those possible futures and beginnings all branch off infinitely. So like a fractal of like time events, right?
Interesting.
The ninth dimension is a comparison of all those events, and it gives us the ability to consider all of the possible histories of the universe, right? And then the 10th dimension, the last one that's in our reality that we could possibly measure, is everything possible and imaginable is known. So if you can measure 10D, right, with a microscopic black hole, if you have a way to detect that and to measure it, theoretically you could understand everything that's ever possible or imaginable that could ever be created.
That's insane, dude.
That is insane.
You basically become God.
That's absolutely insane.
Is that fucking nuts?
Is there fucking nuts? Is there so is there a way to so you said like they can detect the particles where they could possibly detect other dimensions. But you said it in like
the
a
black
way
holes.
That
microscopic black holes is what allows them to
microscopic, right? So does that work like more of an organism instead of like I don't know how particles work compared to like organisms, but like is it similar to that where we can just detect like some sort of a bug, or is there like a particle disruptance that's happening that it can pick up on, or I don't know.
What's happening is like the microscopic black holes are kind of playing the role of a particle or molecule, but it's still a little baby wormhole, and it moves past that wormhole phase. And then the only thing that is different between a wormhole and a black hole is a black hole emits Hawking radiation and it has an event horizon. So the event horizon means that the light can't escape it. Nothing can escape it. It's so massive that nothing can move away from it.
Interesting.
Whereas a wormhole, things can move away from it. So what's happening with the microscopic black holes is it's our ability to be able to measure something that disappears at 10 to the negative 27th power seconds.
Right.
And if you can measure that and detect it, and even possibly keep one open longer, then we have the potential to use those to read other dimensions such as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8D if there's a way to measure those by use of the black hole.
Right. I see. Okay. That's cool. That's
crazy.
Yeah, that is cool.
Fucking crazy, man.
That's nuts.
How do you see the future of that going now that this information is out? Do you think it will progress? Do you see like maybe some sort of potential that may arise from it?
Absolutely, dude. Like I think like we're gonna see like the Star Trek beam me up shit. You know, like we're gonna see people teleport to work. You know, like philosophers are gonna use it. You know, at some point in the future to be able to scheme possible futures and shit. You know, like
so,
we're not gonna need.
If you teleport, is there a potential to have your arm sticking out of your ass once you come out of it?
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, but you wouldn't be teleporting your like all your atoms. You'd just be like literally changing the dimensions directions, like, you know, as you're walking into it. I don't know though. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't fucking know.
Because your body in like the physics in that context is called information, right?
Right.
So a piece of paper, a cup of water, a human being, it's all information. So your information is literally being moved from point A to point B, which is an interesting thing too. Like they actually, I can't remember what the study was, but we've actually been able to teleport electrons from the surface of the Earth to a satellite in space, and we're actually able to measure it.
I've heard about that. That shit's insane.
Yeah, fucking trippy, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Portals to another dimension.
Topics.
Word, dude.
Just imagine, man, like you don't need a crystal ball. All you need is a controlled black hole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have an event horizon, and you can just measure all these fucking dimensions, dude.
I mean, that's kind of a good point, because like if there was some sort of way to manipulate dimensions, because I mean time wouldn't really be an issue. I mean space wouldn't be a really issue. But like you could do it in so many different ways that you could like travel distant planets, or you could even potentially go back and like see history in the making, perhaps. I don't know. Like I don't know if you'd be able to pop into like a different dimension where there's different, lessons to be learned. I don't know. What did you say?
I don't think you could ever like go back like in time.
No, you can't.
Only forward from when we find the technology to actually move. Like that's when basically anything. I don't think you can go back because the technology isn't available for us to actually reemerge. You know.
That's the point. Like if you can control the fifth and sixth dimension, you can go backwards.
Oh wow!
Because like it's like think of like your controller, right? You can manipulate your controller. You could do that with time if you can control the fifth and sixth dimension.
See, I was thinking of it as like the Akashic records, right? Akashic, whatever. Anyways, I sometimes it's like they say you can get like. So, like, when I get visions from the past, but they're, like, not mine. So, essentially, it's like you can look and, like, see what's happening in the past and observe it and get lessons out of it. Does that make sense? So, like, I know if you were probably able to jump into dimensions, you could probably get into that mindset of thinking. It could be imagination, or it could be a psychic, fucking entendre on your brain. I think I used that wrong, whatever. But it could, I forgot where I was going with that, but
no, that's a good point, Colton. I see where you're going with that, and like that's the point of like understanding the 10th dimension, right? The 9th and 10th dimension is even if it is imagination, it doesn't matter because every possible thing that's ever been created or
probably
could be created has been realized. That's the point.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's imagination or not at that point. It's still real.
And usually, like, what I base my visions off of, too, is it's, like, strong imagination, but it's also, like, emotional responses that I'll get that will, like, or I feel it on my skin of, like, the temperature of the air, or I can, like, see the building and I can feel the time. I don't know how to describe it, but it's, like, I feel like the Akashic Records is, like, picked me up and put me here to like for me to learn a lesson or something, or for me to understand because I can't tell the future, but like storms and hurricanes, it's a reoccurring phenomenon and you can pick up on those energies. So it may not be the same situation. It may be something from 1970, but I can pick up on it because it's about to happen again. Does that make sense?
Or it could be a parallel 1977. You know what I mean? Like that would be like that would be like the 7th dimension.
True. I'm just saying, like, if
see alternates.
I would love to see a way to like make that easier. So if there was a way to like make one ship go all the way to Saturn, then like you could probably use that type of physics for me to go inside my brain or whatever to lock into that dimension, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because it becomes a moot point, the size of, going inside a brain versus going to a planet versus going to another galaxy. It doesn't matter once you climb so many dimensions up. Now we're talking about being able to comprehend everything that's ever been and could be.
All-knowing consciousness, right?
That's just crazy.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Now that there's a possible way to measure it scientifically, I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Mind-blowing, dude.
The future is inevitable.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That was some good conversation there, fellas.
That was deep shit, Rob. Good shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Good stuff, boys.
Let's go ahead and get into round 2. Just real quick before we do that, let's just go ahead and plug ourselves. Just really quick. My name is Colton Cass. What did you say?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I like that Midas skin, Josh. Sorry, you're interrupting.
Yeah, cool.
It is cool looking.
Yeah, he is pretty dope. Everything he touches turns to gold too. So like any gun that I pick up and then drop, like it'll stay gold, like all match.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, my name is Colton Cass. I go by Slim Monster. This is my channel, Loaded Magickzines. Like and subscribe if you could. That would be great. You can check me out on Instagram at Colt_of_occult. And then you can also check me out on Facebook.com/ColtonCastMakesArt. And then I got TikTok. Yeah, go on TikTok, Colton Cast. All right, go, guys.
Are you doing good dances on TikTok?
No, I just react to old music.
Just working.
Go, plug yourself.
No, I don't want to plug myself this week.
Don't use the big one, Josh. I always tell you, go small and work your way up. You'll be good.
Rob, plug yourself. Go.
I can't, man. It's not appropriate, dude. I don't.
Whatever.
I don't wanna, you plug yourself, and then we'll follow.
All right.
Yeah, go plug yourself. You go plug yourself.
Just plug off. Just plug them right off. Just plug.
I'm Kyle Heinrich. Go as Rigatoni. Instagram is Rigatoni_Jones. RIGITON. Shit, I don't even know how to spell it.
JONES.
Wait, hold up. Here it is. RIGATONIE_Jones. And if you don't know how to spell Jones, then don't follow me.
All right. Are you guys gonna plug yourselves or what? Or can we just move on?
I told you no.
All right.
All right, I'll do it. Rob Carter. Instagram's at AstralWorkshop, just like this up here. Website is AstralWorkshop.com, just like that up there. Go, Josh.
And Josh is a bitch.
Plug
My Instagram is the Foco Shinobi, and that's the only social media that I have. So
He has a TikTok, but he's too ashamed to admit it.
no, I'm not like a TikTok creator. I'm just a TikTok consumer. I waste too much time on there.
Word.
All right. Let's get into it, boys.